Yo, how are you guys? So, today's topic is about getting old, time. Where the frig is it going? Why is it that when you get older, 40s, 50s, whatever, time just like it's sped up by 1,000. I remember mid 30s going, wow, where the fuck is time going? And then being within a moment, mid 40s, and going, holy shit, I've got like 15 years of potential just work life. And now being 54 and going, holy fuck, there's only like potentially 6, 10 years, I don't know, left of income generating. Potentially, I could work for the rest of my life. I can do whatever I like. There's no rules. But what I wanted to talk about is getting older, like that sensation of time going quicker. I don't know where it comes from. I don't know the science behind it, but it certainly feels like it. And everybody I talk to feels the same way. You know, when you're 18, you feel like you've got your whole life ahead of you and it's just going super slow and you've got all the time in the world. And yet when you're in your 40s and 50s, it's like, man, just blinked and all of a sudden, boom, 54. I don't feel 54, to be honest. I feel like young 40s. I feel like 14 years my junior of where I am. And that's good to feel that way, to feel young, still energetic, still like I've got something to give to the world, to myself, to my friends, family, that I've got a contribution to make. So purpose, drive, my why, all those sort of whatever, I've got stuff to do. At the same time, there's this getting old thing as well. So even though I do feel young, and I think people like, I get told that as well, that I don't look 54. I get told that, I look maybe late 40s or something like that. And it's always nice to hear. I feel like I earn the right to have that as well because I train every day. I look after myself. I fast. I have some disciplines around taking care of myself. And I feel like if I didn't do that, then I would be a lot heavier, slower, not as mentally strong, and definitely wouldn't be feeling like I'm looking and feeling now. So I feel some pride and some respect around what I've had to do in order to feel young. And that choice is available for everyone, to just look and feel your best. As you get older, you look at things differently. You look at your wealth as you're getting into your sort of 50s, mid 50s, even 40s, looking forward and going, is it enough? What do I want? Do I want to work in past 50, 60? How does that look? Am I on the path to achieve that? As I get older, I think about death more. Not in a negative way, but I think there's guys that reach 54 that have cancer, or people die at my age. I know people die at every age, but the incidence of men dying in their 50s and stuff is real. Heart disease, all sorts of different types of things which can occur. And it's not lost on me how quickly this can happen. A friend of mine that I work with, she's just recently been told that she's got a brain tumor, and within 3 days is having surgery on her brain to have a brain tumor removed. So yeah, there's me, there's who I am in the world as I get older, my wealth, my spiritual side, my contribution side, my family, my kids, my friends, my bucket list, what do I want to do? So all these things are becoming a little bit more present. I start to think, am I living the life that I want to live? There's no more time to fuck around and to do what everybody else tells me that I should be doing. I've just got to nail what is good for me and fuck the rest. It's only your life that you've got to worry about. So the more I'm getting older, the more I'm leaning into that and going, well, you have to live your life to the greatest that you can possibly do. And yeah, but there's all sorts of challenges, new challenges which are coming up. My health, that the health side of things is real. I'm feeling a little bit more, even though I feel young for my age, I feel like I've got to medically check more things. I've got to be more thorough. I've got to go for proper medical, consistent kind of checks to make sure that I don't want to get things thrown at me from the side. I need to take more responsibility in regards to these things, even small things like dental and stuff like that, which I've kind of in my younger years kind of got, doesn't matter. I can go a couple of years without seeing the dentist, whereas nowadays I'm like 6 months, go do it, make sure that you're checked and things like that. Same with my heart checks and my lungs and things like that. I've had MRIs and things and executive checks over the last couple of years since I've been 50 to make sure that I'm pretty clear with that sort of stuff. There's other stuff like grey hair. I've noticed that if I grow my beard out is that it's pretty grey now. It's like I'm pretty grey. And I noticed that, that's going more and more and more. It's lucky I've been pretty bald for the last, I don't know, 15, 20 years. So it doesn't really worry me if it gets any worse. I'm used to having a bald head. That's all cool. I just make it shorter and shorter and shorter. But I do know that it's grey hair. And what's this thing? Like, I reckon I've got more hair coming out of my nose and my ears than on my head now. Do you know? My dad had these eyebrows that were like caterpillars, like that. He had to comb them. Where I shaved mine back a little bit. But there's my lower gut area that I've tried everything to try to remove, just won't go. I don't think it's going unless I get plastic surgery and get it removed. So there's all these things, right? Yeah. So the video is really just about getting older and the things that come up and taking responsibility, being okay with it as well, finding some sort of way to be okay with it all. I'm okay that I'm grey and I'm getting grey now. But at the same time, I also shave more because I don't want to have a grey beard. So there's things I can do. I could go to plastic surgery if I want, get a facelift. I mean, there's things you can do, right? To be younger if you want, and that's all good. But as long as you're happy with it, like I found that the more that I do things like meditation and I spend time on the internal world, the more okay I am with my external world. And that's the reality. And I guess that's my lesson really out of this. Hopefully it might encourage you to also do more inner work, because the more inner work that I find I do, then it just doesn't worry me that I'm bald. It doesn't worry me that I've got hair coming out of my nose and my ears at a crazy rate. There's things that I can do about it, but I'm okay with it. Like there's just less resistance, less contraction, more being just okay and okay to get old, and focus on the things that are in my grasp that I want to do, which is where I want to live, the relationships that I have with my kids and my family and my friends, the kind of people that I want to have around me, the causes and social impacts that I want to leave behind, the legacy that I want to leave behind, the type of life, the wealth generation, the steps that I'm taking towards all of those sort of things. The kind of contribution from work is important to me. I want to work with men around these topics because hopefully this is encouraging men to do more inner work, performance and mindset, and also meditation. They're the areas that I'm really passionate about and helping men with. And I want to do more of this work. So this is why I'm here. Getting older, finding ways to be good with it, finding ways to elegantly and gracefully step in to being older and being proud of your age, and to also being the best possible, I hate this kind of word because it gets thrown around, the best possible version of, and to be proud of that, and to give yourself some pats on the back around some of the stuff that you're doing in order to be the best version of yourself. I think that that's really, really important too. You've got to hug yourself out sometimes and go, hey, you're doing a good job. Because I know I can also be incredibly hard on myself as well. Equally, the yin and the yang, I can be disciplined and I can do some really, really good things. I can also be very hard on myself when I don't front up like that. And it's equally important to make sure that you're good, that you're human, that you're going to make mistakes sometimes. And it's okay to make mistakes, and it's okay to sometimes not have good days, and as well. So can't always be performance, right? You can't. Sometimes you just need to be okay that it wasn't like that today or the next day, and just to love yourself, find a way to love yourself for the good and the bad, love yourself wholly as a whole, even the negative stuff. And that's a story that I talked about from a psychology session, is loving the shadow self equally as you love the whole of yourself, rather than feeling shame around it and guilt around it. If you're interested in that, and go check out the video that I made a couple of years ago around my first visit to a psychologist, where I really had to embrace my shadow self. And that's a work in progress. It's not like an overnight kind of thing, I still find waves of that, but I feel like I've got more tools now to be able to lean in on that. So I hope embrace the age wherever you're at, 30s, 40s, 50s, embrace it, love it, be the best you possibly can be, step forward with grace, and if you can, to the best of your ability, and surround yourself with resources, people that are going to lift you up, and because they are often the mirror of who you want to be in this world. And thanks very much for listening. We'll check in with you later. Bye.